YB stays on your neck.
Yo, my dance, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and obviously hit the bell for notifications. Wow, what can I say? This is truly madness.com. Once again, the YB can proprietary. Listen, you man can sit there and I say it every time, but this right here is exclusive from within the. Listen, YB's got sources within inside the New York fucking judiciary system. Bottom line, that's what I'm. Listen, whether you man want to like it or not, this right here is an exclusive leaked file. Only the YB's got this file. No one, never mind, no counterpunch or no hat, man. The YB exclusive. I've been telling you, man, for how long now? 7 weeks. The legal stuff has been kicking off. People didn't want to listen to the YB. I tried my best. But don't worry, today it has been formally executed by Eddie Hearn and Team Anthony Joshua. You can see on your screen now. Matchroom have officially launched a case in New York against TGB Promotions LLC. Plaintiff Matchroom Boxing Limited. Defendant TGB Promotions. Defendant Andres Ponce Ruiz. Now, what you'll see on your screen now will be a picture of Andy Ruiz's box rec. So I've got to be honest, I just assumed his name was Andy Ruiz, but you'll see on his box rec, his real name is indeed Andres Ponce Ruiz, which is quite fitting, Ponce. But yeah, this is madness, truly madness. Like, well, it's not really madness because obviously you man who've been following the YB, you'll know that this is what's been going on behind the scenes, and no one else has been calling. Let's get it straight. In fact, let me call Hatman out now. Hatman was the one saying, there's certain people saying they've got sources. Well, just because you're 7 weeks behind the times, just because you ain't got no HP, don't take it out on other people who have. I've been the one calling it out, yeah? Behind the scenes, it's been kicking off. Eddie Hearn's been trying to lubricate the process and mediate things, but it's finally come to a head. Andres Ponce Ruiz is getting cooked now. It's too much. And ultimately, I had to put a video out yesterday saying that I was actually quite surprised, and I couldn't understand, because obviously the reports were alleging that Ruiz was getting on board. However, what's actually come to light now is that there was once again a legal strategy. Me, myself, I broke it a few days ago. I said, wait there a minute, let's get it straight. Don't get too gassed about this Andy Ruiz situation when he started coming out and saying, remember, initially Andy Ruiz's whole line has been, I'm gonna need $50 million. It's gonna be on my terms. It's gonna be in New York. Remember that? That was his main line. And then he came out on Twitter and backtracked and started talking about, oh, we're in negotiations and don't worry, the fight's gonna happen. And what did the YB say? Who else was, no wait, let's get something straight. Who else was saying it? Was anyone else saying what the YB was saying? The YB said, listen guys, don't read too much into that. That there is legal talk. He's trying to cover his ass because he knows if he comes out and makes it publicly clear he's not doing it, he'll end up in court straight away. And not only will he end up in court straight away, he will have like snitched on himself, because that there will be pure proof. Hearn will go to the judge or will go to the court and say, listen, he has admitted himself publicly that he's not doing his contractual obligations, and that's why his legal team advised him, Andy, even though we got no intention of doing this fight, come out and at least try and change your public, or change the public perception, try and make out you want to be on board. But unfortunately, it has come. Unfortunately, it's come to a head now. Partly because of the YB exposing it. Team AJ have clocked on. They're not on board at all. And that's why it's in court now. Bottom line, you man can sit here and try and fight it. Judge P. Kevin Castell. This ain't no joke. New York Southern District Court, where one of YB's, never mind no residing judge, one of YB's sources resides inside the New York Southern District Court. That's the bottom line. Case filed August 23rd. And to be honest, I could have probably broke this news on the 22nd, but, you know, I didn't want to jump the gun. I wanted to make sure that this was all locked in nicely. But this, for me, it's quite scary. And if you actually look up some of the stuff, you'll see the case number there, 119CV07912. But more importantly, you'll see the nature of the suit. Now, the nature of the suit is a 190 contract, other contracts. That if you look into that particular, or if you look into the particulars of what a 190 contract thing is, it's essentially when people ain't following their obligations that they've signed up to, which you already know. And I think this is very well. The bottom line, it's out there now. These sort of documents don't get made for nothing. And I've done all the research. The judge is the judge. The New York Southern Court is the New York Southern Court, and everyone in line's in line. So I can't see how they don't. These sort of websites, this isn't like a random Reddit or whatever. This is a proper legal website where they bring up all the public cases. You can search any case here, and I'll leave the link for you, man, to do your own whatever's with. But this right here is peak. It's truly peak for Andy Ruiz. And actually, let me say this as well. Yesterday, when I was doing my reports on this whole Andy Ruiz, remember, it was only in the last 2 days that it was alleged that Andy Ruiz is now on board. Now, what did the YB say in that video? I said, listen guys, let's get it straight. This dude Ruiz has got many lawyers working on this. They're not stupid. So you may be thinking, well, what's Andy Ruiz's lawyers got to do with him coming out, and or what's Andy Ruiz's lawyers got to do with the fact that he's now on board with the fight? Well, let's get it straight. Have we heard from anyone of AJ's team saying Ruiz is on board now? No. It was just some random article that popped out of nowhere saying, oh, Andy Ruiz finally agrees to take more money, or Andy Ruiz finally signs up and agrees. That there was put out by Team Ruiz. They knew. They are what they are. They are stupid because now they've cooked their goose. Once this kind of train gets moving, it's going to be truly peak for Andy Margin Boo Ruiz. But what I'm saying is, that whole news article about, oh, Andy Ruiz agrees and Andy Ruiz is signed up, that there was a last-ditch attempt by Andy Ruiz's team to avoid legal action. They were trying to, string Eddie Hearn and AJ along. Does that make sense? They want to keep saying, oh, don't worry, no, we are on board, we've signed it. It's too late then. They tried to back out of it. They then, when they realised Hearn has had enough with trying to play all these funny ass games, bearing in mind as well, the YB did actually break on the 7th of July. It's been since the 7th of July that Hearn's been ready to sign off on this fight. And in the last 6 weeks, what's happened? What's the YB been telling everyone? Ruiz has been playing around. Oh, I want this, I don't want this, I don't want to be here, I don't want to be there, I want more of this, I want more of that. That's what's been happening. That's why Eddie Hearn on the 7th of July put out new news coming soon. We didn't get any news for 5 weeks. That's not just by accident. That's because behind the scenes, Ruiz's team were not on board. And then it was only in the last 2 weeks, I think, that Ruiz's team actually made it clear they're not on board. Now we see the post come out from 2 days ago about, oh yeah, Andy Ruiz signs and agrees. That there was a last-ditch attempt, bottom line. Number one, they wanted to try and string AJ and Hearn along some more. To try and give Hearn and Team AJ some confidence that they were going to do the fight. And the other part was to try and avoid legal action. They wanted to, does that make sense? The minute they found out Hearn had enough, they thought, oh crap, we're going to get absolutely murked. And I've been saying this, Ruiz's team, they know. Ruiz's lawyers have advised him, you're going to get absolutely murked in court. That's as simple as that. There is no two ways. There is no two ways. And that's why he's trying to backtrack now. But Hearn's had enough, and rightly so. He's had enough. You're going to court now. You've unfortunately, and this court case is really going to show, because there's been a lot of, I've been surprised, even UK dons, there's been a lot of UK dons who have been saying, yes, our Gaiman's so smart, he got his Hatman mug, yes, our Gaiman's so smart, Eddie Hearn's not smart. Listen, we're going to see, Hatman, we're going to see, and all them other UK dons, we're going to see how smart our Gaiman is. Let's see how well this works out for him, won't we? Because what has he got? Oh, we won the belt, so we won the belt, so that means we can avoid a contract. No, maybe that is the case. I don't know. Maybe that is, but we're going to see. We're now going to this court case, and after this court case is done, don't let me hear no more about Al Gaiman versus Eddie Hearn, because Eddie, this question got to ask yourself now. Do you think if his contract wasn't watertight, do you think Eddie Hearn would be? He's the plaintiff. He's the one pushing legal action. Do you think a man who doesn't have a ironclad contract becomes a plaintiff? Not really. Don't work like that, because a lot of the fees are actually incurred on the offence, or when you go to court. Because Andy Ruiz didn't go to court, Eddie Hearn did, so they're incurring costs. Do you think they'd be doing that if they thought they had some weak ass case. Absolutely not. And not only that, let's get it straight. Eddie Hearn learnt from Barry Hearn. This is generational deepness. Yeah. Barry Hearn came up from the bottom, an accountant. These guys are well schooled in business fundamentals. Do you think this wasn't locked up? It made me laugh, all these idiots talking about, oh, let's see how it works. Oh, yes, our gamer's smarter. Oh, our gamer's going to do this. Let's see what our gamer's going to do. I can tell you now how our gamer's feeling. That news report that came out saying that Andy Ruiz is on board, that's how our gamer's feeling. He's feeling shocked that he's overplayed his hand. He thought he was smart. And I told you before, our gamer's getting old. He's past it now. He's not as good as reading as he used to be. Because the bottom line is, he thought he was in control. Oh, I don't know. I know what we'll do. We'll just put out there that we are on board, and it will brush on over. We'll just put a fake article out there that we're now on board, and we'll try and pull the wool over Hearn's eyes one more time. Don't worry, we're still in control. Let's not forget, it was only a week ago that Andy Ruiz is saying, going to be on that terms. I'm going to need $50 million. That's what he thought. He was smart. He thought it was all fun and games. He said, new news coming soon. That's what he was saying. Let's not get it straight. Don't shoot the messenger here. He was the one gassing himself about, oh, we're going to get new news soon. How tight, new news. I can't tell you that. I can't tell you this. He was trying to make out he was doing some clandestine. He was making out he had some proper sick things coming. Unfortunately for him, he didn't know that Hearn was on his last legs. He had enough now, and that's that. Now you've really cooked your goose. Now you really are a goose, Ruiz. Because now you're FU. At least in the fight, by taking the fight, you had a 1% chance. Now you are now AJ's going to get the 100 million. By the way, that's done now. AJ's going to win 100 million, and you have absolutely no chance of winning. Because you're going to have to pay your fees. You're already down 10 million these last 7 weeks by playing around and bringing all these lawyers in, trying to find a way out. You're already down 10. And when Hearn wins, because remember, you have to, how it works in court, you sue not only for the breach of contract, but also for the damages. The damages are going to be the opportunity cost, the 90 million they've lost, they've had to forgo. If and when this goes to court, now it's in court, assuming it, because what might happen is, what I've been hearing is going to happen is, Al Gaiman, he knows he's not stupid, and I reckon he's gonna the minute he hears about this, he's gonna put his hands in the air and say, "Please, Eddie." He's gonna get on his knees. I told you, this is mad. What did I tell you, man? A few weeks ago. What did I say? I said, Al, the best thing you can do now is go to Hearn, get on your knees, and do what needs to be done. That's exactly what I said as well. Let's not make out. Sometimes I tell some jokes, but this is deadly serious. I did actually say this. I said, Al, your best bet. Put your hands in the air and just bow to the truth here. Bow to the inevitability. That's what you need to do, and that's what I said you do now. Because it's not too late. It's not too late for you now. You can still settle out of court. So whilst you're probably going to lose 100 million, I'm sure if you go to Hearn and AJ and say, listen guys, I'm so sorry I'm so sorry I thought I was smart. I'm so sorry all these LDBC gassed me up to think I was actually something I'm not. If you put your hands in the air, write a check for 50 million. I know you lot, that's the funny thing. I know all you LDBC and all our gamer love to talk about the $50 million. I'll tell you what we'll do now, What you do now is you'll end up writing a $50 million check. And you won't even get a fight. You'll just write it out, because otherwise you can lose 100 million in court. And I'm sure AJ and Eddie Hearn, I was about to say, I'm sure they will be merciful and they'll accept 50 million, but I'm not even sure at this point. Eddie Hearn's, by this filing of his case, he seems pretty damn ruthless to me. He might just be going for the whole jugular. He might be going for the whole damn 100 million. And to be fair, I can't really blame him. Mercifulness is completely out of the question now. Now, I'm sure there's many Al Gaiman fans and Andy Ruiz fans who will be on my channel saying, oh, please YB, please try and convince Team AJ and Eddie Hearn not to completely murk Andy Ruiz in court. And I'm sorry, I did my bit. I already said weeks ago, Al, Ruiz, put your hands in the air and admit to the inevitability that you got murked, that you're legally cooked. And you didn't want to listen, you thought it was all fun and games. Yeah, I'm going to be on that terms. That's what you were saying, you was gassed. And now we're going to see how gassed you are. Now, all the fun and games, this is the problem, you see. Too many cats these days. They think it's all a big Instagram game. That's what they do. But we thought it was all an Instagram game. You saw him with his chains and and doing all his Rolls Royces. That's what he thought it was. He didn't realise that this is AJ's team. AJ is a well-oiled team. We've never seen a team as ruthless and as calculating and as I'm trying to think of the word. Just so dominant in this sport of boxing. We've never seen it before. And unfortunately, it seems to be Andy Ruiz is going to be the one that's going to be made the point out of. Because from this point forward, Beyond No Illusions now. Not Al Gaiman, not Barbarian, no one going forward. By the time they finish with Andy Ruiz, but by the time Andy Ruiz's great granddaughter is in servitude to Team AJ and Eddie Hearn, by the time that's happened, there'll be no one else stepping out of line. That'll be the end of it. That'll be the bottom line of it. And that's what happens, you see. The first one always has to be made example of to make sure everyone else falls into line. So let's see what happens going forward. But all I can say on this point is I try to tell you, man, this is what was happening behind the scenes. It wasn't Eddie Hearn and Team AJ were being truly merciful to the public. They were trying to put on a smiley face and put on a happy face, but at this point, Ruiz refused to put out promotional material, which is in breach of a contract. He refused to turn to the press conference, and Eddie Hearn, and I actually criticised Eddie Hearn, but in reality, he was doing the right thing at every stage. He can actually prove this legally as well in court. At every stage, Eddie Hearn can say, "Listen, I tried to be amicable. We gave them a neutral location." These are all things, and this is how you've got to think about. It's about smarter thinking. Ruiz, on the other hand, was coming out saying, "Oh, we're not doing this. We're in control." AJ and Hearn, they were covering their ass. We gave them a neutral location. You know what I mean? Proving their willingness and whatnot to help to try and make this happen. And Ruiz at every point slapped it back in their face, and he's going to find out the hard way, unfortunately. Bang. Let's say it plays out. AJ versus Ruiz 2 in the court coming soon.